It's Kevin Christian. It's the 21st of February 2022. So, I want to talk about Gang Stalkers broadcast and how, why the broadcast is on you and how that's what they're using to attack you with. If you have access to neuromonitoring, then you have to look at it what it really is. It's an interface. It's an online interface like on a computer where you can access all of your settings, like just like of social media. Do you want to be connected to this person? Do you want to be connected to this person? And what are the limitations of that connection? So if you have access to neuromonitoring, which you should know this, okay? Because a lot of people had this misconception that it's only the FBI or some high-ranking government people that can have access to neuromonitoring, and that's not true. That's not true at all. I know quite a few people that are normal people that have access to neuromonitoring. Lots of people, millions of people have access to neuromonitoring. How this thing's gotten out of control with torture and gang stalking, it's beyond me. That's what I don't. That's the biggest thing that I don't understand about neural monitoring and all of this broadcast stuff is how come nobody's trying to do anything to stop this genocide? I don't know. What I do know for a fact that millions of people have access to neural monitoring, and I know a few people, quite a few people. Like I probably know 20 people with neural monitoring, and I probably dealt with another 50 that I know for a fact have access to neural monitoring. So that I just don't know them personally. All right, so say you do get access to neural monitoring and you can access your interface, and it's going to be somewhat like a social media. It's like a Facebook or something like that. And the difference would be the settings are actually neurological broadcast settings. And it's all connected and linked in with the satellite broadcast, EMF broadcast system. So if you were to connect to somebody, say for example, I wanted to, say I had mine, right, and I wanted to connect to gang stalker Marcus. At that point, I would have a broadcast representation of myself, and that would be placed onto Marcus's body somewhere. He would also have one on me. They call that a monitor. That's what they have on each other. So you actually have a broadcast, their broadcast on you physically. Now that's where the problem comes in. Because if you have that broadcast on him, all right, you're connected to Gang Stalker Marcus and you have that broadcast on him, he has possession and access, control over his own neural monitoring, over his interface. He has access to it and he can control the settings. So he can set your broadcast to have to be still. All right. He could put it on his calf muscle, 0.01 millimeters deep into his flesh, where basically it's just a very light, safe, non bodily damaging broadcast sitting on his body. And he could have that. And that's how he administrates the connection there. And so you could connect to him and you could be talking with him over artificial telepathy, or you could set it up to receive each other on mind control and many various settings. But your monitor would not be able to do anything other than sit there and be still, uh, basically hovering over the surface of his body and not hurting him in any way. All right. But say you don't have access to your neural monitoring to this interface that's online. And say Marcus has access to yours because whomever has you on neural monitoring and has control and possession over your neural monitoring, they've allowed Marcus to make that connection. Now, of course, he set your broadcast, your monitor on him to be something that's safe and not able to harm him. In your case, though, he's also got the settings and the ability to be able to control how his broadcast sits on your body. And that he doesn't put any limitations on that. So at that point, he's able to connect to his broadcast on mind control. And that's what mind control is. That's what mind control is. You can connect to somebody else. You can receive something. You can control a broadcast. You can live as that broadcast. You can experience living as that broadcast as if it were you. Okay? You can experience living as somebody else as if it were you. If you have unlimited access to their settings. So I don't have neural monitoring. I don't have the ability to control my own settings. I don't have the ability to choose who I'm connected with. I would never choose to be connected with these people. And if I did, I would never choose to allow them to use their monitor to saturate into my body and to cause damage, ultimately death. It would be suicide. And so now that's the situation that I'm facing. And how many people do you have connected to you? Right? What if, say, for example, this girl that has control and possession of my neural monitoring, say each gang stalker, depending on their level of connection, pays her. I say, I'll give you $50 a month to be connected to Kevin Christian. All right. Say I want to be a main gang stalker and do live streams and be able to talk to him out loud and have all of those settings. All right. Oh, I'll give you $200 a month for that. Okay. Now say she decides this is a good way to make income. So if I own his neural monitoring and I allow 500 people to connect to him and have a broadcast on him, well, then they make a lot of money. And then everybody that's connected, they can receive me and they can allow themselves to be mind controlled by me. And then on their neural monitoring, you got my imaginations and my ideas seeming like it's coming right out of their own mind. You got people doing shows of your life, like the Truman Show, EMF broadcast, live streams. That's videos without a camera from broadcast. Right? They got a monitor on you. Say, no limitations to that. Right? They can crawl right into your genitals and shock your genitals. They can crawl into your heart. It feels like you're having a heart attack. They can just saturate into the ligaments of your knee and leave it there for 5 years until you can't walk. This is what they do. When people think, oh my God, they're beaming me with a direct energy weapon. The direct energy weapon is a monitor. Somebody else's broadcast on your physical body. They're controlling it, living as a broadcast. They're on mind control, connected to that broadcast and able to control that broadcast. And them or whomever has control over your neural monitoring, your neurological broadcast frequency profile settings, is allowed to do whatever they want to. Now, see, you see why you can't gang stalk a gang stalker? Okay, if somebody has access to neural monitoring, you can't do this to them. I've heard so many people say how they want to get back and do what they do to us. I want to do that to them. You can't. They have neural monitoring. They have access to it. They would never allow you to connect to them consensually. They would never allow your broadcast to run rampant all over their body. They would never allow 500 people to be on their physical body at one time. This stuff's killing me. Literally, actually killing me. And it's killing millions of people around the world who don't have access or don't understand what's going on. And that's why it's genocide. That's why it's genocide. And when they have specific intention to cause damage, bodily damage, to hurt you, knowing that it's ultimately killing you. That is genocide. That is premeditated murder. That is conspiracy to murder. And there are many people that are involved with that conspiracy. And there are many people that are a victim of that conspiracy. And yeah, it is government sponsored terrorism because they've been doing it for so long that they can't let the secret out of the bag now, even though millions of regular people have it. And there's nothing they can do about that. There's nothing they can do about that. If they shut it all down, you got millions of people that are about ready to come out and say, hey, 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 whoa, you're not about to do that to me, what we've been doing to everybody else. So it has to stay a secret. And they're backed into a corner, leveraged by millions of people having it, having access to it. And that's supposed to be the way to keep governments and the elites or Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, from being able to just control the world's population by mind control and physical torture and genocide. But these gang stalkers, they're using it in all the wrong ways. They decided to be just like the governments who been doing this forever, for decades. And so the governments can't say anything because it's basically government-sponsored terrorism by way of leveraged play. So there's your direct energy weapons. You have a physical broadcast on you, if not 20, 30, 100, 500, depending on how cool are you, how many people want to be connected to you, how many people are doing live streams of your life. Could be hundreds. It could literally be hundreds. And every one of them has a physical broadcast on your body. And it starts to overrun your body. And then people that decide they want to be abusive and torture and hurt you, try to control you and take out their anger on you. They can do that with their broadcast. And there's nobody with a handheld phone that looks like a phone that's really a direct energy weapon. There's no guy in the bushes with a microwave gun beaming you. This is all satellite broadcast, and it is all gang stalkers that have access to neural monitoring, that are connected to a broadcast, that have a monitor on you. They are physically attacking you with a monitor, a broadcast that they have on your body that is from being connected. So, two gang stalkers connected to each other, they have a monitor on each other's body. They don't have it set to where they can be attacked by that monitor. Only we have that because we don't have access to neural monitoring. We can get it. We can get neural monitoring just like they got neural monitoring, even though most of them had somebody give it to them. We can get it. Okay, it's computer programming and hacking and networks and all of that stuff. A in-depth understanding of all that, it'll get you your neural monitoring, I promise. Thank you for watching.